We made YouTube change its policy. YouTube updated its ad-friendly guidelines on swearing this month on what is and isn't allowed with clearer transparency. This is in direct response to the issues we've been talking about on this channel since the start of this year that have been restricting and demonetizing my own content along with many other creators on the platform. And while I still think there's more they could do, this is a big win for creators across YouTube. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for making this possible. So just to recap, back at the start of this year, I made a video on how YouTube was restricting my content by demonetizing my videos. The reason for this was because of a policy change on swearing, which was applied retroactively across the platform. This resulted in a mass demonetization of my content, which also limited its reach. The real issue from this was that my content was older than the policy on profanity itself, and because of another YouTube policy, I was not allowed to edit or change my content to follow the new profanity policy. This posed a horrible existential threat to being a creator on YouTube. Your old content must follow policies that literally don't exist yet, or you will be demonetized and your career endangered. It was rather stupid to introduce a policy like this because it retroactively punished creators for doing nothing wrong. And ultimately, it seems that YouTube thought the same. Thanks to this policy change, I can now call you a bitch douchebag asshole shit, and this video is still monetized. So why does this matter? Well, swearing is a very trivial issue for YouTube to address and crack down this hard on. There is a myriad of other problems on YouTube that they should probably be putting their time and attention into, but for some reason they got hyperfixated on swearing. There was also a horrible vagueness in the old profanity policy, as it wasn't clear what swears were or weren't allowed in content. We actually had a little fun with this as we started using the word YouTube itself as a swear in my videos. It's actually funny to think about this, but part of the reason YouTube is now more specific with which swears are not allowed might have been because of using YouTube as a swear and them not being sure how to address it as a swear. And if that's the case, that's an actual YouTube moment right there, which is just hilarious to even think about. The profanity policy was also applied wrong, and I started to get flagged for extreme profanity on videos where there was none. The profanity policy is now much more forgiving. A lot of swearing is now okay in your videos, and the point of contention is simply don't say fuck in the first 7 seconds of your video. Don't swear at the very start of your video is essentially the advice. That's a lot more forgiving than where we were, but I think YouTube can do more here, and we'll come back to this in a moment. Here's the big good news from all of this. Since the policy change this month, I can confirm that I've had dozens of my videos reinstated on YouTube, remonetized, and unrestricted. This is really good, and I really do want to say thank you to everyone who has shared and raised my YouTube issues these past months. This change in policy would not have happened if we didn't draw attention to these issues, and I genuinely believe we've done something good for creators across the platform with this policy change. Now here's the not so good news. Many of my videos are still demonetized and limited even after this change. Several of my videos are still unfortunately age restricted as well for displaying scenes from horror games, including my best of RTGame 2023. But the main reason for a lot of my videos being demonetized still is because I say fuck in the first 7 seconds of those videos. Now, if I could, I would go and remove these swears and horror scenes or even censor them so that I can get the content remonetized and unrestricted. But because of a different YouTube policy, you are only able to have your content reevaluated once for remonetization. Now this would be okay. It's not the best, but it would be okay if YouTube told you what was wrong with your content before you went to appeal it and get it reevaluated. But that's not what they do. They only tell you what's wrong after you submit it for evaluation. So if something is found to be wrong with your content, it's already too late and you cannot change or modify the video. But even if I removed the offending content from my video, they would not reinstate it. It doesn't even make sense at that point because there's literally nothing wrong with the video. And I really believe this is a stupid policy to still maintain because there's already a system on YouTube that lets you edit your videos after they are uploaded and get them reinstated. You can use this for copyrighted music. If your video contains copyrighted material, you can use YouTube Editor to remove the section or even mute it, after which your video is remonetized and unrestricted. Why can't this system be used to make content follow YouTube's own policies? If our content needs to follow YouTube policies at all times, including policies that don't even exist yet, then surely we need to be given the tools to actually follow this future policy. So to demonstrate how stupid this is, I cheated the system. I had a video of mine flagged and demonetized. Taking a look at the video, it was because I said fuck in the first 7 seconds. Now usually, what would happen is I would appeal the video and YouTube would have said no, this violates our profanity policy. But because I knew this would be the outcome, I used YouTube Editor first to remove the offending section of the video. Now YouTube hadn't told me that swearing was the reason the video was flagged because I hadn't sent it for an appeal yet, but I could take a guess. So I removed this section from the video first and then sent the video to be appealed. The video was then remonetized and unrestricted without problem. If I had gone to YouTube and asked them for help to make my video follow their policy, my video would have stayed demonetized forever. But because I deliberately avoided going to YouTube and took a guess what was wrong with the content, I was able to get it restored. That's a really stupid system. The order of operations is completely wrong. You should be told what's wrong first and then given the chance to change it. It's literally backwards. And here's the really tragic takeaway from this. I now realize I could have restored all of my content if I had avoided going to YouTube for help. But because I asked for help, I no longer can get those videos reinstated. And I think this is the real problem with the profanity policy changes in the first place. If YouTube changed their order of operations for appealing videos, there would have been significantly less problems with following their policies. If you tell us what's wrong first, then let us change the video, everything could be alright. And the system is literally in place for copyrighted content already, so why can't it be for policy as well? We got a small victory with the YouTube policy change this month, but I think this issue is the larger battle. We were able to directly influence and change YouTube's policy for the better this year because of the support and the discussion around these issues. So here is the clear request I want people to ask of YouTube this time. Let creators edit their YouTube videos to follow policy. There is no reason for them not to do this, and the system is already in place for it. This one change would make conditions better for creators across YouTube way more than any policy on profanity possibly could. And it's the #1 thing that I'm really hoping they do. Thank you once again, everyone, for all of your support throughout all of this. I genuinely, seriously appreciate it. I'll see you all soon.